understanding with the city family for us to be able to be heard, be listened to when we make suggestions about the way cars ought to be restored. The fact that this car is as close to the original as it is, given safety constraints, ADA, and all these other things, is a testament, I think, to the power that you have given to us through your support to have our voice heard at City Hall. So thank you very much for all of that. And now I'd like to introduce your host for the day, the greatest PCC operator of the 19... Mark Curtis, our secretary. Art has been named a member of the Muni Centennial Committee, which is a great honor for a former employee, and I hope you give him a round of applause for that too. Oh, of course he was the chief inspector. Yeah. He won't be enforcing any of this. I won't talk the whole trip, so you don't have to worry about that. But a little bit about me. I'm a third-generation native San Franciscan, a rail and transit fan for life. I worked for Muni for 37.5 years. I was a PCC motorman, drove trolley coaches, motor coaches. I was a cable car conductor, actually. That was a different little operation than PCCs. I moved up into management. I was a night dispatcher, a transit service inspector. Later on, the assistant chief inspector, and finally, in my last 20 years, I was basically the chief inspector in charge of all the street inspectors to try and keep the system running. These are the blue-suited guys you see out on the street sometimes. Let's talk a little bit about this very historic car. I've given you some information on the handout already. But you know, the PCC car was designed for one-man operation. So what did Muni do? We designed it for two-man operation. See where Steve Seuss is sitting right there? That side-facing seat is the conductor's seat. So you had a motorman running the car and a conductor collecting the fares. Instead of getting on the front like most PCCs, you get on the back. You had a signal system between him and the motorman. He had a door control panel, and he had a fare box. So that was the way we operated when this car and his sisters came on board in 1952. The reason for that was that the city charter did not allow for one-man operation. And that was a throwback to a long time in the city history. The Berkshire Railway actually did run a couple of one-man cars, but then there was an accident, and there was always getting one-man.
It's you, Art.
So it was not until 1954 that the voters allowed the city charter to be changed in order to run one-man streetcars. We ran one-man trolley buses and buses, but they wouldn't let them run two one-man streetcars. Another thing about this particular class of cars, as nice as they are, Muni kind of bought them on the cheap. You rent the other PCC cars, you'll see the nice double metal panel here, the nice window cranks, the nice design. This is just one piece of sheet metal, lift up windows. You know, they did it as cheap as they could. The St. Louis Car Company B3 wheel sets of trucks that were running on, they had the option for shock absorbers to make the ride even more comfortable. No, Muni wouldn't put the shock absorbers on them. We don't do any battery or on violations that I committed long done. They can't touch my retirement, so I'm home free. And as a good Catholic boy, all I can say is, Father, forgive me for I've sinned. And I did sin. Kind of set the tone for some of the stories I'll tell you this afternoon. You have to know that I was one of a group of young buck motormen, all in our early 20s or late 20s, who preferred night runs and who just loved to run these cars. When I say run these cars, I mean speed, speed, speed. Pedal to metal. Pedal to the metal, right, literally. Speed was our mantra. You know, we constantly challenged the performance of these cars both in their acceleration capabilities and more importantly their braking capabilities. I mean, it was totally awesome, really. We did things you could not possibly do today just because of the way the system is configured. But for those of you familiar with Uni, you come over the top of the hill at DuBose Avenue up there by the Mint. You look down. The best thing for a runner was seeing your leader down at 4th or 3rd Street. Because then you knew you could run. You didn't have to slow down for the guy that was in front of you. So that was, yeah, there's the speed map.
A pamphlet, a troubleshoot that every PCC operator had. So this way you could go and like reset the...
I saw that out there, and I've heard of it.
Oh, was that Billy Bristol when they went out on that cattle drive? Yeah. Well, that was great.
You just bought 14.
My experience, and you know, I don't scare too easy. This one really scared me. Look ahead, down about a block, you can see where it kind of dips and it goes up over where 280 is. And then comes, on the other side of that is the entrance to Metro. It used to be the entrance to Elgin. When they built the 280 freeway, they built a shoe fly. Some of you remember they had a shoe fly where all the rails went around on a big curve before they came back on here. They built a new rail on the new 280 overcrossing. Well, when they put the new rail back on and it was straight again, coming in on a evening pull-in around 7 in the evening, I'm usually flying down this hill like I always did. The new rail started just past House Street. You see House was the next street. Well, it turns out it was new rail, it was surface rusted rail. And when I hit that rail at about 35 or 40, whatever I was doing, and I couldn't hit I saw a pull-in ahead of me on the other side. I hit the brakes. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I was on surface rusted rail. So they just started locked up, and I was just sliding. I went hard down on the track brake trying to stop. Nothing was stopping that car. And as I came over the top of the loop, and I see the guy ahead of me put his brake lights on, and I said, "Oh, Curtis, here goes your career," because I figure I'm going to go slam into him. Because he's slowing down, and I'm not slowing down at all, and I'm still going 35, 40 miles an hour. This past where the entrance to Metro is now, the old rail was still there. Taking from new rail to old rail. As soon as I got on the old rail, break down right away, no problem. So, moral of the story: don't speed and try to stop on rusty rail. PCC, it ain't going to happen. So I'll tell you, I was ready to get out of the angel seat and be back here by the time I hit that guy in front of me. I was scared. I mean, really. You throw some oil in the tracks and you'd be slipping and sliding. Halloween, you learned on Halloween, you came to a stop, there were maybe some kids there, that you only opened the number 2 door. Because a lot of times they'd be ready to throw eggs at you. Oh, no. So if you opened the number 2 door, you had a chance of getting out of the line of fire. But what I did for the kids that would like to ride up right away, the shop wasn't happy with me on this, but I would go down to Woolworths and buy a big bottle of Vaseline or equivalent of Vaseline, and I'd rub it all over the back, the window, and the cashier, and on the anti-climber. And these kids would run, you'd see them run up and get on, and it was too slick, so they couldn't get on. So they stopped trying to get on my car because they knew the back of the cars would be full of grease.
Also, you were the operator who did that.
Hey, here's one of your culprits.
There's one of my, I was one of your victims.
How many cars, on the 7 cars, they had to build and they didn't have them.
Come on, Come on, Devil. Turn around. Come on, Devil.
Okay.
Hey, everybody say Market Street Railway. Better stand up.
There we go.
We done? This one coming right.
You gotta get the devil in there.